And we are excited to introduce a new guest to our NAMI Walks Your Way Maryland team. If you hear an airplane, it's okay, because that's the energy that we're bringing. We are flying through and sharing messages to support and basically promote Creativity Connects. So let's hear how Steve Berry flew through or coped during these last 2 years with his creativity while supporting his mental health. Welcome to the call, Steve.
Thanks, Latanya. Always great to talk with you and be with you. I love your energy. You just are such a positive person, and I'm honored to be on your team for the first time this year, raising money for NAMI. So the pandemic sent us home, and we had to start working from home. So I had this idea that I would just post my daily thoughts on social media. And I realized I was doing it for a couple of reasons. One is we are wired for connection as people, as human beings. And that was one way I was trying to connect with other people. And actually I'd be outside and working in the yard, and someone in the neighborhood would walk by and say, "Hey, I read your post," or they'd give you the ever positive like or make a comment. And so it was a way to connect. But it was also a way for me to express myself. And I think for our mental health, that is so important. We need to learn how to share what's going on within us and what our thoughts are. And sometimes my daily posts in social media were benign. They were about the cat, or they were about more significant things like wearing masks in grocery store. And there's one of my stories is about a woman who wears her mask over her chin, and that got a lot of responses. So that's kind of how I coped with these, and it was very therapeutic and cathartic for me.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. And I know that you are supporting NAMI Maryland with every book sale. Can you publish these books in what form?
So I decided that it started out I was going to put them in written form and give them to my kids for Christmas. And then it worked out, long story short, is that I ended up publishing them through Barnes & Noble Press and gave them out to people and sold them to people. And this is the first volume of my Corona Journal, which is available on Barnes & Noble Press. And you can see these 3 rocks on the front. Those are hope rocks that I painted, again, part of my creativity during the pandemic, as little messages that's out in our driveway in the front along our little garden there. The yellow one says 6 feet apart, please. The red one in the middle there says, be kind to yourself on one side and be kind to others on the other. And I would turn it around every once in a while. And then the blue one is actually the back of the blue one. It's a mask. It's a blue rock wearing a mask. And those were I put them out there for signs, and you can read about that process in here. And then I published a second volume of my Corona Journal, volume 2. And that picture on the front is a hawk, which one day, and you can read about it in here, I don't know what date, a hawk literally landed right outside my window that I'm looking at right now and sat there for 10 minutes. And it was an amazing thing. I did take some pictures of it, and it eventually swooped down and caught a little mouse and flew off. But it just being in nature like that and having that was just a great way. So these books are my thoughts throughout the pandemic for a year.
You know what? That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I just have to acknowledge you that you are creative, and thank you for showing our viewers what those rocks represented, because we want everybody to realize that creativity does connect. And you put this experience into writing to share and impact others as well. And for those of you who are watching, just a reminder, Steve just mentioned something very powerful about nature. And you see that we're outside, and yes, you might hear a little bit of different sounds that are integrating into our experience, yet you just have a moment to take a break and observe what natural nature is bringing to you. Steve, I'm so excited for you, and I want to congratulate you for publishing these amazing thoughts and works. And I feel like what you have produced will connect to others and really give them strength and creative ideas on what they can do during these times to also support their own mental health and wellness. Are there any last remarks before we bring this wonderful introduction to a close?
No, as always, I love talking with you, and thank you for your time. And yes, I hope it does help other people as they reflect upon their time in the pandemic and as they look to how they want to be in the future. Thank you very much for your time.
And